You are listening to Beyond the Fit, and this is your host, Holly Cotton. The purpose of this show is to go beyond just looking fit and to cover health and wellness topics to make sure that we all become the strongest versions of ourselves inside and out. So, as we did the last week, we are doing the same thing in today's episode. And basically, we are highlighting how awesome and important it is to be living your purpose and how that basically defines how good your health status is. Because you can look great on the outside, but if you're empty and you're not living your passion and your dreams, I hate to break it to you, you are not happy and healthy. So, I am so honored and excited today because I have someone, if you guys are on social media, you will know her name is ChrissPeriod. And that's all she needs is Chris as a first name and period, which is her IG handle. So thank you so much, Chris, for being here today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
And let me tell you why Chris is going to be our guru today, because let me tell you, Chris is an entrepreneur. She's a creative soul. She does a little bit of everything. She's an author. She's a musician. She is a boss woman. She's got multiple businesses. So she's going to give us all the deeds on things that she's done to pave the way, help all of anyone who's trying to come up, help the younger generation, like just drop some knowledge and some gems for us. So thank you, Chris, for letting us basically pick your mind today.
Of course. I love it here.
All right. So first question, really simple. Tell us who you are, where you're from, the story of like how you got to where you are and doing what you do.
Okay, well, I am from Houston, Texas. Third ward to be exact. I was raised, H-Town, baby. I was raised in a humble home. It was just my mom and my sister. My mom created this space for us where we were always involved in like arts, entertainment, music. Like she used to be a singer. She used to bring us to her shows and we used to just sit there and watch her as kids. So that like pretty much shaped my whole life. And I like say my mother is the reason that me and my sister and I are like we are today. It helps a lot with things that we deal with on the daily. As far as arts, things are just so easy for us. So that's pretty much how I grew up in Houston with just a single parent. And I don't know, I've just been a free soul ever since. So that's how I got to where I am.
So you left Houston at what age and decided so rewind. So you were here in Houston, you were growing up, and then at a certain age you were like, I want to do what? And then you left. And what was like the first thing that you did that like you were like, oh, okay, this is what I want to do?
Well, I think what like sparked a lot of things when I was 18, everyone was kind of like going off to college and stuff. I'm going to this college. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So I went to Italy. It was like a program called EIL, Experiment in International Living. I chose Italy, went there for 5 weeks with people I didn't even know. And we had to like figure out how to live out there. So I think coming back, it was like, I think that I can do something so much bigger than, what traditionally you're supposed to do. So all I did at that time is I was like being a server. I was working. And then one day when I was like 23, I was like, aha, why don't I move to LA? Because my friend was like, okay, I want to move to LA. And I'm like, I'm coming with you. So we basically moved to LA. You hear this story all the time. We moved, we didn't have any plans, we didn't have like income or anything. But, I was flying by the seat of my pants. I wanted to be a songwriter. I was like, it's just going to work out. Got here and everything kind of went the other way. So I continued to be a server. And then eventually I quit my job and I was like, I want to work for myself. And that was like 8 years ago. So just been in this thing,
Well, that's good. One, I'm glad that it worked out for you. And then like you said, sometimes you have to get uncomfortable with life and get out of that comfort zone, because had you stayed here or had you gone and like you said done the traditional thing, that would have definitely derailed all of your goals and what you were doing now, because you would have went on a whole different path. So
Mhm.
kudos to you for having the balls to go and do that.
Thank you.
Women bosses, love it. Love it. So I know that one of the major things that you're like kind of with your whole entrepreneurial spirit is like growing your brand. So what is the Chris Period brand? Like what is your like, if you when you hear people talking about you and you're like, this is my name, this is my brand, what is that brand that you want people to identify with Chris Period?
I believe that people just they always tell me like, okay, you're this boss babe. They call me a boss babe because, like I said, I do everything. Like throughout the years, it's been music, it's been clothing, it's been starting random businesses, writing books. You know, I even had a show called Before We Hit, like just creating things. So people just say I'm an entrepreneur. And I love that because I'm like, I just love to be creative. I don't want to be put in a box, you know, whatever. Whatever I can do that like inspires, motivates, uplifts people, like that's exactly my aim in everything I'm doing. So that way I can keep everything like open. There's no boundary for me, you know. So that's how I like it. And that's how people, you know, they respect me in that manner. They're like, yeah, she does everything.
Definitely.
Hmm.
Right, right. No, and I love it. Like I love that to see, because I'm following you on Instagram also, and I love to see, you're always smiling, but then you also show like, hey, this is hard work. Like I'm doing a commercial shoot on this, and this is what I'm doing. Like I'm actually down here on my hands and knees and
Yeah.
setting up stuff. So yeah, so I love that you're exposing that, like, hey, it's not all glitz and glam. Like I'm in here fighting for my brand too.
Yeah,
So that's
absolutely.
awesome.
Hmm.
So first question I have is, what do you think is the biggest sacrifice that you've had to make to grow your brand?
I get really deep with things. So I think my biggest sacrifice was switching my mind frame to from having faith in myself to completely having faith in God. So that helped me. And I say sacrifice as far, I feel like a sacrifice that you aren't losing anything. It's like you're gaining everything. So when I switched my mind frame to just like this small mind frame of like me, I have to have faith in myself. No, it switched over to like full faith in God, listening to what is like my direction, like where am I going, and then like just jumping off the cliff every single time, you know, and landing on my feet and getting everything that I wanted, I desired, you know. So I always say that's my biggest sacrifice. I've never had to like, it's been rough, it's been hard, but I've never had to like struggle through it. You know, I've been blessed every step of the way. You know, my mom in 2018, she got sick, and my sister and I were both blessed enough to be able to support ourselves and then support her in that moment. And not many people get to do that, you know, they have to like choose one or the other. So as far as sacrificing, I was just like, here, guys, sacrifice myself. That was my biggest sacrifice.
Well, that's an interesting perspective too, because I think that a lot of people, like you said, you're so used to, okay, I'm putting all this effort in, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And if you have something that you believe in, with which is your faith,
Mhm.
and you felt like, okay, well, going forward, I'm going to relinquish all of this that I have in me and put it in the higher being. So that's a very good perspective to share and to have. And also, it gives you a foundation. So when you feel like times are rough or whatever, that's whenever you can be like, okay, now look, I put all the I didn't sacrifice for the Lord, and I'm waiting on the Lord to come
Yeah.
back. What's going
Yeah.
on, Lord?
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. You gotta do that
So I love it.
though. It's true.
Right, right. Yeah, great answer, great answer. Okay, so now we talked about your brand, all of the ventures that you're going into, and then we kind of hit on that entrepreneur part. So, what's one thing that you have encountered as an entrepreneur that you were not totally prepared for, other than not having a regular paycheck? What's something else that you were not prepared to deal with whenever you took on this role?
Well, I think all the entrepreneurs are gonna feel me on this. COVID that came along, and like we were all like, what? I know I was just like not used to my sales like declined dramatically, like nothing was going right, the warehouses were closing, we thought it was the end of whatever, like, so that really forced me to like change my direction. And my followers, like they would probably, my supporters, I hate calling them followers, on Instagram, they would probably like, they could say the same thing as far as like, I don't know what she was doing around this time, because I was literally pivoting, like trying to figure it out. I think so many people were doing that, and it was very challenging, very hard. Many people lost their businesses during COVID. And I kind of did. I lost my clothing store eventually because I made the decision to like close it myself. But yeah, I mean, COVID really came in and like smacked us all up, and that's like business wise, family, personal, all that. So yeah, that's what I would not did not expect.
Right. And that's a good point too, because I wasn't even thinking that you were going to say that. I was thinking it was going to be something else. But yeah, that that's the most, that's like the most recent thing that like really screwed a lot of people's
Yeah,
businesses up. So yeah, you're right. And also that, especially like a lot of us have excuse me, a lot of us have built these sort of brands which are our names, and we use social media to kind of grow those brands because your name becomes your brand. So
yeah,
anything you touch, now everyone's watching it. So yeah, so if you're having a decline, or like, okay, well, what I'm supposed to do, just keep posting,
right.
but I can't I can't go sew up the stuff myself.
Exactly.
So
It was rough.
good point.
Yeah.
Right. Well, congratulations that you are soaring on this side of it, that you
Thank you.
continuing to do all these great things. So
Thank you.
it tried to stop you, but it did.
It's it.
Right. We still winning, boo. We still
Yes.
winning. Okay, so I know that you have, like, first of all, you have like a gazillion supporters on Instagram. Like your follower count is like off the charts. So I know that you have a lot of younger people that are like following you, like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. I love that she's repping, a natural body, and she's showing that it's okay to have curves, and you have like this sexy, classy, sexy, which is kind of like not that common on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like you say, I'm gonna show a little hip, I'm gonna show a little cheek, but that's what y'all get. So kudos for that. But I know that you do have a lot of young girls that are following you and things like that. So do you have any tips, and maybe also like share, okay, so do you have any tips for any young entrepreneurs, and also do you have any tips that you wish someone would have shared with you when you were starting to grow your brand?
Um, yes. So as far as tips, a lot of people come to me for business advice, and I always tell them, because I see this happening with a lot of people. They try to make the product and like the business perfect before they release anything at all. So I tell my friends, I'm like, you're putting so much work into making things perfect. Nothing is perfect, literally. Failure is subjective. Like like you're making all this up in your head. You could think something's amazing. You spend hours and hours on it, and then you put it out, and then it's like no one's messing with it, and you're like, oh crap. So it's best to like put it out. Obviously, don't have it looking crazy, but put it out. Just do it, and then along the way, you'll figure things out. So that's my biggest tip to people who are looking to start a business. Um, what I wish somebody would have told me was to work on not using my likeness throughout the whole business. Like my first business, I used myself and I used to sell clothing. So when I was tired of like taking pictures, I was like, I do not want to be in front of the camera. It just, my clothes didn't sell well. So I wish somebody would have been like, you might not want to do that in the beginning. But by the time I was told, it was like 6 years in and it was too late. So
So you're saying that for don't use your likeness. So you're saying if someone's trying to do a clothing line or something like that, if they're inspired by what you've done or whatever, and they're like, oh, well, I would want to do a clothing line, you're saying use different models, not yourself.
Yeah. Like you, so you'll see like, for example, Kylie or Rihanna or whatever. They'll come take a picture. Yes, that's fine. They take their picture. They're like, okay, we're coming out, whatever. But like literally, my whole brand was me, me, me in every single outfit. So it was hard to like stray away from that because that's what people were used to. And it like totally. By the time I was done, it was very hard to like step away from it because they were just used to it. It was the brand by then. So yeah, I wish somebody would have took me aside earlier.
Well, that's good advice. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, like if you don't feel good or if you want to work on something else or whatever, like you're kind of constrained to just that because if you're the only model, if you're the only person, and I see that a lot because my whole platform is that I'm into fitness a lot. So I have like a huge fitness following. But
Mhm.
so I see a lot of people that start trying to have a fitness apparel brand
Yeah.
and they start selling the leggings and the sports bras and every picture it's usually them.
Yep.
So I need you guys to listen to this show and listen to Chris because he
That's
might not want to start on that path.
woo! I wish somebody would have told me because it would have saved me a lot of like headaches along the way.
Right, right. Okay, well, anyone that's listening, anyone that has, if you're an adult and you even have a young adult person in your home or a teenager that's thinking about that, make sure you share that advice with them as well, because they may not know that. So if you're listening to the show and you know anyone that has an entrepreneurial soul, creative spirit, and whatever, give them that little gem right there too. So thanks.
Yes.
Okay, do you have any regrets with anything that you've done so far? Do you have any regrets?
Not one. I don't. I don't. I really don't. Like I think everything in my life happened for a reason. And the way that I am literally right now is because of everything that happened prior. And I just give like gratitude for all that stuff, even if it was terrible in the moment. It's like, okay, it taught me something I need to know now. It taught me something about myself. It taught me, something about other people. I don't know. But literally I have no regrets. I know that's like, girl, come on, everybody. But I really don't. I really don't.
Okay, well, and that's a good perspective to have also. Like you just like you said, people might be like, "Girl, come on, you got to regret." But if you think about how you just put it into your own words and your perspective, you're saying that I don't look at things that technically other people might see as a regret. I look at it more as a learning experience. I
Yeah.
don't look at it as failure. I look at it as a lesson to be learned or whatever. So when you have that perspective, then you're allowing yourself to be open to maybe not always having the best outcome, but then taking that outcome and saying, okay, well, that path was terrible. Let me try a different method
Right.
because that one ain't it.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good perspective to have also. And then you usually, you're more positive and I think that helps with your character. I think that helps with your business because when you're in a positive state, positive energy draws in positive energy. So if you walk in like, hey, I'm Chris and all right, what we gonna learn today and how we gonna do it, people feed off of that too. So that definitely helps your brand and stuff like that.
Yeah, I forgot to mention.
All right.
I
Oh
forgot to
yeah.
mention about the young entrepreneurs. So I read this one book over and over and over and over again. I literally order it every time I'm done reading it. I give the one I read and highlight it away. This book helps you tremendously, even in life, even if you're not doing business or whatever, just the way that you think and process things and go about things. This book makes me rich every time I read it. Every time. It's called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Waddles. It was written in like 1914 or something like that. And then all of the people, like the people, Rhonda, how is her name? Shonda Rhimes, The Secret and stuff like that, they read his book and then wrote their books. So this book, like, I highly recommend it. It's like a quick read. You can read it in a couple hours. I read it over and over and over again. Like, that's one tip that I should have said first and only. So yes.
No, well, thank you for that recommendation. And one, that book still is, I've read it also, so I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're saying. And the fact that it's still being circulated, like that just shows how much of an asset it is. Like it's still relatable information in 2022. So
Mhm.
thank you for bringing that up.
Yes.
Anyone listening, get your kid that for Christmas or birthday present. They don't need another foolishness, something else. Like get them something that'll help them grow.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see goals for next year. First, before we do the, because at the end of the show I want you to do like your promo, and I only have like two questions left, so it's coming up. So I want you to list all your brands and do all your promo. But can you tell us before we go into that, like anyone that's listening, can you tell us some of the products like that you're working on, that you're doing, so that they kind of have an idea? Because I know we kind of just we've been talking about all these ventures, but we haven't really said like
Oh yeah.
we know that the clothing brand. So like tell us some of the things that you are branding and that you're working on right now.
So I am working on mostly accessories on my new line. I call it Ease. So it's my new store where we do Cuban links, just like basically other necklaces and stuff like that, accessories. Then I'm coming out with like a pyramid purse, doing that, and then I just got a patent pending for protective mouth grills. So it's like the mouth jewelry, but it's like protecting your teeth. You can also include like a whitening foam to whiten your teeth and freshen your breath as you're wearing it. So it's like an alternative, like a healthier alternative for mouth grills. So those are the major things that I'm working on currently. There's a few like clothing pieces on there, but I'm trying to stray away from the clothing and just do mostly accessories.
Right. Okay, yes. And sometimes just the accessory part, because I kind of did the same thing too, like when I first came out, like so I can definitely resonate with some of the things you're saying about branding and stuff, because I was like, okay, this clothing line thing this is hard. Like what was I thinking about?
Yeah,
Like so
yeah,
then I'm like, okay, let me go back down to some simple stuff. Let me do like t-shirts,
mhm,
fitness
yeah.
accessories,
Mhm.
one size fits all.
My God.
Like I was like, okay, I need to do maybe go a different path.
Oh, girl, this gave me
It's a lot.
yes.
I know. They don't. I'm like, hey, kudos to those people that have the support team to do all of that, because it
Mhm.
is a lot of work.
It really
So
is.
I love that. Yeah, and I love the little the I don't want to say little, but I say little because they were like the little pyramids.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, I like that. That's so cute. I love the pyramid
Thank
purses.
you. Thank
It's like a clutch, but then it's not.
you.
And it,
Yeah.
yeah, so I love it.
Thank you.
Okay, so what about goals for Chris? What are your goals? What are your like goals for like the rest of this year? And then what do you see as like a major goal for you, like, in the next couple of years?
Okay, so I'm very goal oriented. So what I really want is for my current business to expand. So I'm looking to do things like that I haven't really done with branding before. So I'm looking at digital marketing, and I'm talking about like at billboards. Sorry, digital billboards and like stuff like that. Just stepping outside of Instagram because I've been Instagram for like 8 years. So doing that commercial, I just paid for a commercial out of pocket, and it looks amazing. Just doing stuff that's like monumental for me and my business. So people look at it and go, "Oh, yeah, she ain't playing." And then also with my patent, I'm looking for Issa Rae. If you out there, I want her to be my co-founder. I think that would be so cool. Just her being my co-founder of these protective mouth grills. That would be awesome. So if that can happen in the next year, that would be great. Um, and outside of that, for the rest of my life, I literally would love to just be a creative person. Everyone I come into contact with, I want them to be inspired, motivated, I want to uplift them. I want them to see God through me. And that's it. That's all I ask for, just to live a life of creativity. That's it.
Well, that is a very good goal, both short term and long term. So I love it. I can't wait to continue to watch the progress and see all the things that you're killing over the next year, next 2 years. And like you said, once you kind of get an idea of, okay, these are some things that I didn't really want to go here. This is what I kind of want to do. It's like once you like lock in on that, it's almost like a target. Like you're like, that's where I'm going, these are the things I'm doing in this direction only, and all that other foolishness on this side I don't have time for. I'm going this way.
Exactly.
So
Yes. Laser focus.
love it, love it. Exactly, girl. I know. I'm the same way. I'm like, I'm over here. Keep
Yep.
going straight this way.
That's
So, okay, so now everyone, they're kind of like, well, shoot, I'm jealous. I'm not following Chris, period. How do I get in touch with her? Or how do I follow her? How do I be part of the support crew? And, well, I want a pyramid purse too. I want to see what these things are. So, give us all the ways that people get in touch with you. And if, tell us your website, spell it for anyone that's listening, because some people, they're listening like they're commuting or whatever,
yeah.
and spell out the website or anything that's like different spelling or whatever. And then if you have more than one thing, like more than one website or whatever, like just tell them where to go for what.
Okay, well, I just pretty much am funneling everything to ease. So the website is ease into me, like you're easing into the new you, ease into me. So it's EASEINTO.me, ease into dot me. So that's the website. You can also look on Instagram for that. And my personal Instagram is ChrissPeriod, CHRISS, period, PERIOD. And yeah, that's all. So this new brand, I'm so excited about it. I'm excited about the trajectory of the brand. And I just can't wait to see where it goes and what else, I can do.
Right. So on the website, you already have like the links and the jewelry accessory pieces and the purses are already on the website. People are free to go and
Well, the purses aren't out yet. I'm making everybody wait for it.
okay.
But on the site right now, there are Cuban links. We got the smaller ones, bigger ones. We even have like a real diamond Cuban link on there. And then we have clothing, some clothing pieces. And yeah, that's about it for now.
Okay, great. So are you going to tell us like when is the release for the purses, or is it like top secret?
It's going to be soon. It's going to be soon. That's all, that's all I can say.
So you guys have to follow her then, so and you're up to date, so you can get you a pyramid purse, because y'all are going to be jealous when you see me on my Instagram with one and you didn't pay attention and now you missed out.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay, love it, love it, love it. Okay, well, thank you so much, Chris, for sharing that with us. You gave a lot of good information today. I love talking to, like I said, I love to see women that are empowered, that are doing things, that are breaking barriers, that are just basically saying, great, it's our time now. We're going to start paving the way. And then also being very transparent about things that you learned and things that have helped you too. So anyone that is trying to maybe start their own business, no matter how old you are, I don't care if you're 85 years old, you should never have a regret in life. Go ahead, give it 100%. If there's a 1% chance of winning, why aren't you trying? So just keep on pushing. And you guys, Chris dropped all of her social media, website, all of that great stuff. So make sure you follow her and keep going beyond the fit.